In the headlines, INEC says Atiku did not meet conditions to win presidential poll. Federal government approves 6 billion naira for maintenance of Third Mainland Bridge. Gunmen kill police inspector returning from Easter holiday in Imo State. And on the international scene, UN chief appeals for international aid for 8.3 million Somalis affected by drought. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with politics, where the Independent National Electoral Commission says the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, did not meet the constitutional requirements to be declared winner of the February 25th election. Urging the presidential election petition court to dismiss the petition by Atiku and his party, the commission said the PDP flag bearer failed to score at least 1/4 of the votes cast in at least 2/3 of the 36 states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory, and as such could not have been declared the winner. As against the claim by the petitioners, INEC added that the election was conducted in substantial compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 and was not marred by any corrupt practices. The commission said the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, validly won the election as he met all the legal requirements to be so announced as the winner. INEC added that by the margin of the lead, it did not act hastily as claimed by Atiku and the PDP in declaring Tinubu the winner. The Independent National Electoral Commission said it would hold supplementary election in Port Harcourt 2 and Gokana federal constituencies on Saturday, April 15, 2023. This was disclosed Tuesday in a statement signed by the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State, Dr. Johnson Sinikem. According to the REC, the election will commence at 8:30 a.m. in the local government areas. He noted that election will be held at Kana wards 04 and 07 across 42 polling units. In Port Harcourt, Sinikem explained that election will be held on 377 polling units within Ward 05, 10, and 28. Assuring commitment of the INEC in the supplementary poll, the REC urged voters from affected areas to come out en masse and exercise their franchise on Saturday. The All Progressives Congress in Rivers State has compared the actions of Governor Nyesom Wike in the aftermath of the 2023 elections to the 1972 Watergate scandal in the United States of America under President Richard Nixon. Spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress in the state, Darlington Nwauju, made the comparisons in Port Harcourt while analyzing the governor's recent media chat. The report.
The APC spokesperson says Governor Wike admitted to conniving with operatives of the Nigerian police to steal their documents. He also said Wike admitted that he and INEC and the police arrested 3 lawyers of the party to obtain the party's evidence of the electoral heist that took place in the state.
By this very public confession of Governor Wike, it is very clear that the laptops and other evidence is critical to the APC litigation and elections petitions tribunal we are hacked into in order to steal information. This, to our mind, should be of very serious concern to Nigerians.
The APC's position is that the media chat has confirmed the fears of the peoples of Rivers State that Governor Wike actually positioned some loyalists of the PDP at INEC office and has been working in cahoots with them, which led to the attack of the APC governorship candidate, Tonye Cole.
We are fully aware that the so-called protesters stationed at the INEC Port Harcourt office are not there to prevent the smuggling in of results that were written anywhere, as the governor claimed in his media chat. We are rather aware that the protesters are there to give shield to the INEC officials who are still busy writing results to match the figures that were ridiculously announced on the 18th of March 2023 in favor of the PDP.
The dramatic conclusion of the APC spokesman is that what Governor Wike did by brandishing a flash drive purportedly containing details of the APC legal briefs is similar to 1972 Watergate scandal in the United States of America under President Richard Nixon. He therefore called on federal government and relevant stakeholders, security agencies to probe into political situation in Rivers State.
Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has nullified and set aside the ward and local government congresses purportedly conducted on February 7th by the All Progressives Congress in Kogi State. The congresses were for the purpose of nominating APC's governorship candidate for the November governorship polls. The court voided the two congresses on the grounds that they were not conducted in compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 and the Constitution of the APC. Delivering judgment, Justice Omotosho also barred the Independent National Electoral Commission from according recognition to the unlawful delegates list that emanated from unlawful congresses for the party for the purpose of selecting its governorship flag bearer. Still talking politics, the Kano State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has filed a petition before Kano Governorship Election Petition Tribunal challenging the Independent National Electoral Commission for declaring Abba Kabir Yusuf of the New Nigeria People's Party winner of the March 18 election. The petitioner, in a 5-volume petition, is alleging that Yusuf, popularly known as Abba Gida Gida, was not qualified to contest the election on the grounds that his name was not on the list of the members of NNPP sent to INEC. The parties involved are the APC as the petitioner, while NNPP Yusuf and INEC are first, second, and third respondents, respectively. The respondents have 21 days to respond to the petition after court processes served on them. With less than 50 days to his swearing-in, Kano State residents are setting priorities for the newly elected governor of Kano State. Residents want the incoming government to focus attention on human capital development and are hopeful that the new government will live up to expectations. Idris Jibrin reports.
Some are hailing as the triumph for the Nigeria's political powerhouse. But Kano State faces some of the same old problems, creating jobs and feeding its poor, as well as the more recent and more disturbing challenge, the high cost of living. At the moment, things are very expensive. If you go to the market to buy food items today, the price is different. If you go back tomorrow, the price will increase. Therefore, we need the incoming administration to focus on how they can be able to reduce the price of goods and services, how we can be able to buy food with the little amount of money that we have. Because if you didn't eat, you can't even go anywhere, you can't do anything. Now, on 29th May, the newly elected governor of the state will be sworn into office amidst increasing concern over the failure in education, healthcare, and several other areas of societal development. The major problem of our society now is health. If you are not well enough, you cannot even go out to look for what to eat. And nowadays, if you go to the hospital, before the doctors will even listen to you, it will be another problem. You will stay longer than necessary before you see a doctor that will attend to you. Sometimes if you take your wife, she may even die or delivered on the floor before any doctor will attend to her. So we want the incoming administration to provide free healthcare services for all the people of Kano State. Ibrahim Ahmad is a pensioner in Kano State who usually receives 30,000 naira monthly. But he says there are challenges itching over the Kano State Pension Board and hopes the new government will address it.
I am
a pensioner, and every month Ganduje is removing 10,000 naira from my 30,000 naira pension. So you can see how the things are going. And this is the situation. From the first day he became the governor of Kano State up till this moment, every month they are removing 10,000 naira from my pension. And you can see not only that, we have problem of water supply, problem of education, mosquito is everywhere, there is no roads. And we have refuse dump on the street everywhere you go. This is the problem we are having, and we want this government that is coming in to make sure that they address this problem. Lack of potable drinking water, electricity supply, high cost of living are some of the major issues Kano residents expect the incoming administration to address. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The 2023 elections have been followed by calls for the cancellation of the polls by some sections of the country. Stakeholders, however, believe that there is a way to bridge in gaps that made these sections uncomfortable with the political process. Correspondent Abubakar Abdullahi tries to identify a unifying factor in the aftermath of the 2023 general elections. The report is presented from our studio.
The 2023 elections have come and gone, but not without challenges. They were expected before the polls by keen followers of the Nigerian political process. Some stakeholders in Lafia, Nasarawa State, said this was probably the worst experience the country has had in recent elections. Apart from being polarized on choice of political leaders, the stakeholders say the division along religious and ethnic lines are even more dicey.
In the past, we've had elections where candidates will come out to contest on issues that affect Nigeria and Nigerians. But this time around, almost everyone is guilty because the candidates and their political parties came out to contest, except for the few ones, not on issues, but religion, ethnicity, or regionalism. And this is exactly what really formed the basis of almost all the candidates campaigning for their manifestos.
Speakers on the issues said the country at the moment needs unifying forces through the actions of all citizens so that the political system can move beyond the cycle of recriminations.
I must say that I think politicians also have their own faults in this line. In the past, we've had elections where candidates will come out to contest on issues that affect Nigeria and Nigerians. But this time around, almost everyone is guilty because the candidates and their political parties came out to contest, except for the few ones, not on issues, but religion, ethnicity, or regionalism. And this is exactly what really formed the basis of almost all the candidates campaigning for their manifestos.
But most importantly, stakeholders believe law enforcement agencies should be more proactive in shutting down and prosecuting individuals and groups whose actions are capable of causing division in the society.
The federal government on Wednesday approved 6.28 billion naira for surface maintenance of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos State. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who briefed State House correspondents after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, said the 24-month repair will cover 11 kilometers, including interchanges, ramps, and critical links. He said the move aligns with Executive Order 11, signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in April 2022, which gave legal backing to the country's national maintenance policy. The announcement comes barely 2 weeks after the Lagos State government said it would undertake rehabilitation works on the 32-year-old bridge to repair failed and peeled asphaltic sections and substructure. The former Lagos State governor said the state's Public Works Corporation will focus on the functional structure of the bridge, such as the underwater piles, while the FG will undertake surface maintenance to treat potholes and restore missing guardrails. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Growing concerns over Nigeria's stability. Do stay with us.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have informed, educated, and entertained us. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
From generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized.
Come May 17th this year, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather at a hotel and suites for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and excellence in the broadcast media. Voting starts on 20th April and ends on 4th May 2023. Visit www.tnbawards.ng to vote now. They've served and they're still serving. It's time we say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON.
Hello and welcome back to Trust News Update. Now let's take a look at the highlights of our top stories. You heard that INEC says Atiku did not meet conditions to win presidential poll. You also heard that federal government approved 6 billion naira for maintenance of Third Mainland Bridge. Now moving on to security. A police inspector identified as Augustine Ukebu has been killed by some gunmen in Imo State. Police sources say the policeman was killed at his village at Umoshike Ogbo in Abo Mbesi local government area of the state after celebrating the Easter with his family. It was gathered that the inspector was kidnapped from his house upon his arrival from his base in Owerri and was later found dead in a bush along Mbutu in the local council. Police were said to have visited the scene and discovered the inspector's corpse. The corpse was later deposited in the mortuary and the vehicle recovered by his colleague. The police public relations officer, ASP Henry Okoye, who confirmed the incident, said the police has commenced investigation. There are growing concerns over the activities of certain forces within and outside Nigeria aimed at undermining the stability of the country in the aftermath of the just concluded elections. It is against this backdrop that some civil society organizations and other concerned Nigerians across regional and political divides are calling on citizens to shun such centrifugal forces in the interest of unity and stability of the nation. Trust TV Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The dust generated by the just-concluded elections in Nigeria is yet to settle, despite proactive measures to mitigate challenges arising from the outcome. The activities range from calls for interim national government by subversive elements to inciting statements by political actors in the face of growing poverty. These actions have resulted in the deepening of ethnic and religious fault lines and are painting the picture of a country working on power gyros.
Apart from the internal agitation that we have started perceiving and we're seeing in the country, we have also started perceiving some dangers coming from outside the country, where some enemies of Nigeria are also trying to take advantage of the situations and try to see how they can instigate and also incite some of, especially the young people.
Election was conducted under the Independent Electoral Commission and empowered by the 1999 Constitution. The Constitution gave the power to Independent Electoral Commission to conduct election from state level to local government level to the federal level, which they have done, and the winner has been declared.
While well-meaning Nigerians struggle to douse a dangerous ethnic and religious tension, subversive elements are allegedly working in cahoots with foreign interests to undermine the unity and cohesion in the country.
What they need to do is for them to rally around who has been declared as winner of the 2023 general election and to think about to rebuild Nigeria. What we need in Nigeria is peace. What we need in Nigeria is unity. What we need in Nigeria is progress.
As a nation, we need national reconciliation and nation building to give hope to the next generation, which is the youth, because you cannot prepare the future for the youth. You can only prepare the youth for the future.
Those people that are calling for the stabilization of the country, trying to see how they can create a lot of chaos in the country, they have gotten other places where they can live, where they can settle with their own family. But those young people that are going with them and also borrowing leave from their own sentiment, they do not have any way to go.
Litigations arising from the conduct of this year's cycle of elections will soon commence at the election tribunals. Nigerians are warning desperate politicians to have a rethink and desist from inflaming the country due to myopic interests and inordinate ambitions. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The National Assembly has passed the Investment and Securities Bill, which includes provisions of possible jail sentences for those who promote Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. At plenary, the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, stated that the bill is expected to protect investors, adequately regulate the market, reduce systemic risks, as well as provide for more stringent punishments for operators of Ponzi schemes. Speaking as of the time the House passed the bill, Chairman of the House Committee on Capital Markets and Institutions, Babangida Ibrahim, stated that the ISB 2023 is capable of transforming the capital markets, attracting foreign investors, as well as boosting investors' confidence, among others. One of the developments that the new bill brings is the prohibition of Ponzi pyramid schemes, which have led to the loss of billions of naira on the part of victims and also affected confidence in the investment climate in Nigeria. The passed bill prohibits Ponzi pyramid schemes as well as other illegal investment schemes and prescribes a jail term of not less than 10 years for promoters of such schemes. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has appealed for massive international support for Somalia, which is facing the worst drought in decades. During a joint news briefing with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud on his visit to the country, Guterres told reporters in the capital, Mogadishu, that he's in Somalia to ring the alarm on the country's need for significant international support. President Mahmoud said the visit assures that the UN is fully committed to supporting their plans for state building and stabilizing the country. 5 successive failed rainy seasons in parts of Somalia, as well as Kenya and Ethiopia, have led to the worst drought in 4 decades, wiping out livestock and crops and forcing at least 1.7 million people from their homes in search of food and water. In sports, Fatai Osho has returned as assistant coach of Nigeria Premier Football League champions Rivers United 48 hours after resigning from the post. Osho reportedly resigned from the role due to disrespect and contempt from the club's management. According to reports, the young tactician had a strained relationship with the club's general manager Okechukwu Baluku. Osho had been linked with the vacant coaching job at another NPFL club, Nasarawa United. He has been working as an assistant to Stanley Eguma since 2021. The tactician has also worked with Remo Stars and Eyimba in the past. And finally, on a sad note, a former Borno State Commissioner for Poverty Alleviation and State House Assembly member-elect for Chibok local government area, Nuhu Clark, has passed away in India after a protracted illness. According to a family source, he had been hospitalized for months before he passed away on Tuesday evening in India. Until his demise, he was a one-time chairman, Chibok local government area, a commissioner in the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation, and a member-elect who represented Chibok local government constituency, Borno State House of Assembly. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.